I'm pretty sure that today's session will be, very, very interactive, and I'm pretty sure everybody will like to solve their problems, what kind of questions they have in their mind. So with this, I would like request to Archana ma'am to please take over and take the things forward. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for wonderful introduction. You've been very kind in introducing me. All right, everyone. So as I said, that this particular session for today is going to be very interactive. I generally do that in my sessions. I hardly use PPTs, and I am not really fond of using PPTs for these kind of sessions where we have to talk about interactions. So, like the word interview skills, it starts from inter. So, interactive sessions means when you're talking to somebody and you are asking questions to somebody, that session is called interview sessions, right? So, let's start with understanding what exactly is you understand with this word interview skills. I really don't want to take your name, so whoever wants to give the answer, please do that.
Hi Archana, this is Shankar.
Shreya, what do you feel? What is interview set? What interview means?
Set of professional and personal skills that are.
Okay.
Hello. Am I audible?
What else?
Am I audible?
Yes, Shreya.
Set of personal and professional skills required for.
Yes, you're audible.
Required for interview.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else who would like to share?
Yeah, hi Archana, this is Shankar.
Or shall I take your name and then you will be? Yes, Mr. Shankar. Now you can share. Yeah.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
you are audible.
Okay. So interview skills are nothing but how you gonna read or write or how you are listening. So all these things also matters, and with professional ethics. So what are all things you wanted to learn or what you wanted to be, which what do you say, your passion decides. So these things are important for the interview skills, I believe.
Okay. And what about knowledge of the subject that you are mastering in? You're taking qualification in. Is it important to know about the subject?
Okay, I have talking about freshers now. So whoever the campus recruiter is, so they will be having the basics of operations or basics of any of the languages, C, Java, or anything. So at present, so that's why I just informed. Okay. So if it comes to the seniors, we should see how exactly he was answering, or what is he capable of on his answers. So we will come to know how he is answering or how good he was in those particular topics. Whether we are asking the questions, how he was explaining it to us, so that they will give a better. It will give a better picture to the interview.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. So anybody else who would like to share what do they understand from, or shall I move ahead and talk about interview skills? Anybody having any thoughts other than what Shreya and Shankara Rao had shared? All right. So moving ahead, according to the professional setup, when you are going and meeting somebody in the corporate for your interview or you are preparing for the campus interview, there are few things that should be kept in mind. And what are these things basically? So we generally call these things as ask. Ask means your ability, right? Your skills, and K is your knowledge. If you have very good knowledge about what you are able and what you're capable of doing, that means you have easily solved your problems. And second thing is skills. And skill is how skill is different from knowledge. You have talked about so many things in last 2 months. So how do you differentiate between two?
If you
Is
have
why is the
knowledge,
skill different? Yeah.
if you have knowledge, you can resolve that particular issue by 10 days at least, or if you take any issue. But if you have skill, you will try to mitigate that particular issue ASAP, and it will not turn over on our head again. It will not create any issue if we have that particular skill. So knowledge, you will be just
Right.
trying to do the work, but
Right.
skill, it will help us to mitigate that particular issue on wherever we are, in which position we are.
Okay. So let's ask from others, right? I want to ask Garvita. So Garvita, why do you think, and what are the two things why skills and knowledge are different from each other?
I think knowledge is theoretical concept and skill is practical concept.
Mm-hmm. I do not hear your voice properly. Some issue with the network.
Knowledge is theoretical concept. Skill is practical concept.
Okay. Why do you say that? Why knowledge cannot be practical? Pratishta, you have something to add?
In my opinion, also skill is basically the application of knowledge that you have. Knowledge is more about what do you know about that field, and skill is more about
Correct.
how can you use that knowledge that you have about that particular field you have.
Very good. Okay. Good. So according to all of you, skill is basically the practical exposure or application of that particular thing that you know already. And knowledge is that know-how that you already know. Right? So what qualifications do we take in the college is basically the knowledge that we have. And we have to turn that into skill. We actually try and do internships. We try and do summer internships or different kind of trainings into various corporates so that we can understand what we have learned theoretically in the classrooms, how we can now practically apply in the corporates or whatever business you want to join in. It's not just about corporates, right? So when we talk about interview as a skill, right? Interviewer, people like, HR managers or people like, who are hiring or sourcing, these people have a different set of expectations from the freshers completely. Now, what kind of expectations do they have? So first three things we talk about is your ability, your skill and knowledge should be upgraded as per the level, as per the knowledge, as per the requirement of the job for which you are going for the interview. So that's very, very important thing. Now, second thing which is very important in interview skill is basically your personality. How many of you think, just raise your hand so you can use that particular emoticon which says raise your hand. How many of you think that your personality can crack the interview? Or personality development is really important for cracking an interview? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 11. So almost everyone is saying that. Prerna is not saying, Hardik is not saying, Tripti, Subir, and Yashvi. All right. So let's ask you then. So Prerna, why do you think that personality doesn't matter for interview?
Actually, I was trying to find that emoticon, but as for me
You
personally,
have done that.
yeah,
It's
it,
okay.
it matters.
All right. Okay, you are saying it matters. Tripti, you think it doesn't matter?
No, ma'am, it matters.
Matters. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Hardik,
Yes, matter.
why not raising hands? अभी बोल रहे हैं yes. अभी question पूछ रहे हैं तो you are saying it matters. All right. So everyone believes that personality matters.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can show me your hands like this. So that is also okay. And if it really matters, right? So what are you doing about your personality development? What one thing you all have to tell me? This question is to everyone, and you have to speak up quickly because we have very limited time for this session, right? So everyone will just say one thing that you have done for your personality development. So I'll take the name and you just say that one thing, right? So let's start with Anjali. So Anjali, what you have done for your personality development?
I improved my communication skill. That's one thing I did for my personality development.
Okay, communication skills. Good. Garvita?
I have done some extracurricular activities of yoga, cycling.
Okay, very good. Shreya?
Acquired different sets of skills.
You have to just name one. What one?
I like learning new
Thing that
languages.
you've
So
done.
that learning
Sorry.
new languages.
Your voice is not coming to me again.
I'm learning new languages.
Learning new language. Good. Prachi?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, socializing with others. More.
Socializing with others. Okay, good. Hardik?
Ma'am, looking and dressing style and style.
Looking and dressing sense. Okay, one thing only. Tripti?
Ma'am, social
Dressing sense,
adaptability.
Sorry?
Ma'am, social adaptability.
Tripti, I could not hear you. Social
Ma'am.
adaptability. Okay. Yeah. Pratishtha?
I'm working on my communication and interaction with others.
Okay. Harsha? Can you hear me, Harsha?
Yes, madam. Confidently speaking, madam, in an interview.
Okay. Confidently speaking. Okay. Subir?
Ma'am, so confidence is best.
Confidence. Okay. Tithi?
I'm socializing with others, ma'am. The way how you interact with others.
Yeah, the way you interact with others. Good. Srishti Yadav?
Ma'am, socializing.
I think Shreya?
Yes, ma'am, to improve my communication skill with others.
Okay. Anybody else left?
Ma'am, me.
Anshaj. Yeah, Anshaj is left. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Being more expressive and somewhat clarity of thought.
Clarity of thoughts. Good. I like it. Who else? Yeah, Shankara Rao.
Yeah. Ma'am, at starting, I felt communication and how to interact. But now I was working as a senior developer. So I was about to explore other managers or leads or observing them. So what are other qualities? So those things I was just observing and learning how to plan or how to design ourselves of the day plan or month plan.
Okay. Yashvi?
Ma'am, communication skills.
Communication सबने बोला है ना. Speak एटलीस्ट जब लास्ट में चांस आ रहा है कुछ नया सोचो. Okay, Apurva?
Ma'am, same. I have worked on my communication skills.
Vanshika?
Ma'am, empathizing with people and meeting new people.
Empathizing with people. All right, good.
Yeah.
All right, so now I think everybody is done. So see, a lot of common things which came up is communication skills, how you are looking, to improve your personality, to improve socializing, meeting more people. So all these things were very, very common things, right? But very important thing for developing personality is first, the first impression that we make on somebody. How do we make some very important impression on somebody while we first meet them?
Introduction or greetings.
Even before that?
Ma'am, the body language or the eye contact.
Correct. So body language is so important. And second is how you're looking. Your communication skills, your socializing skills, your other things, all that you have said comes secondary. Personality development means when you're entering the room, it has been, there was a research which was done almost 10, 20 years back. And this research all over the world, across the world, says that all the HRs who sits in the room creates an impression whether to hire this person or not in the first 20 seconds about a person. And these first 20 seconds are basically those seconds when you knock the door, you enter the door, and you come and sit inside the room. So what is that thing that you can do other than your improving your communication skills and rest other things, and not talking about your own personality? Your personality ka jab meaning hai, when we talk about personality, we actually talk about how the other person is looking in the first impression. And looking has nothing to do with beauty. Looking has nothing to do with, whether you're really, really beautiful or you're very fair or you're looking really smart. No. Beauty, looking good means that, your clothes are properly ironed. Your hairstyle is very neat. You're wearing everything that is required to be worn in the corporates. You cannot have a blinky jewelry and then you're entering an interview room. Right? You cannot wear, what do you call it? Aajkal jo jeans chal rahe hain, wo phate hue wala. You cannot really wear those kind of jeans and go for the interview. And trust me, people come in such things. I have, in my 18 years of career, I don't know how many interviews I've taken. I've not really ever counted, but there would be thousands of people that we have recruited for various organizations and met different kind of people with different kind of personality altogether. So first impression that you can create while entering the room is with your mannerisms, with your body language, and how you're looking. So your mannerism is that you're asking whether you're taking a permission, can I enter the room please? Or may I enter the room please? Even if you know that you have been called for the interview, that's what your mannerisms ask for, that you are still seeking permission to enter the room and waiting for the answer to come from the interviewer. Any one of the interviewer. There can be a panel of people who are going to meet you. And then second is basically your body language. Are you jittery? Are you nervous? Are you underconfident? That is very important. So confidence is very, it has a very thin line between confidence and overconfidence. Few people try to get, into that confidence mode by looking overconfident about everything. And then they forget other things. Should I wait for the interview to say something? So they become overconfident and they start over speaking during the interview. So that has to be avoided. Right? Now, third thing is your personality. Like we talk about what you're wearing, how you're wearing, and you should be confident. कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि हम फैशन फॉलो करते हुए या कॉर्पोरेट फैशन फॉलो करते हुए कि हमने कोट पहन लिया गर्मियों में. Now it's so hot outside and you're wearing a coat suit, entering the room, you're not feeling good yourself, right? So looking good means that you should be comfortable in whatever you're wearing. I usually tell when I go for my sessions outside, I always tell everybody that try and wear cottons while you're going for the interview. It can be a very good cotton for women, it can be a very good cotton dress, it can be a very good cotton shirt, pant, or it can be a very good cotton salwar kameez, anything. And for males, obviously there is a short pant which is always available in cotton. So cotton will always keep you lighter, right? It will not really show your sweat off easily. And then you will feel confident because the air is actually going inside your body and letting you be relieved. Right? So because अब आपको नहीं पता ना आपका इंटरव्यू सुबह 10 बजे है या दोपहर के 2 बजे है in such scorching heat. Correct? So it's very important. Whatever you are wearing should be very comfortable. You should be very comfortable. Same thing goes with the heels. Now imagine you are going for the interview and you have आपने 5 इंच का heel पहन दिया है, 4 इंच का heel पहन दिया है, and you are doing tuck inside the corporate. And it happens. You don't know what kind of flooring do they have. अगर आपके उसमें शूज के अंदर रबर नहीं लगा हुआ है तो वो टक करेंगे. This goes for both male and female. So it's very important. The shoes that you're wearing inside the corporate offices everywhere, they should have a rubber sole, because that rubber sole will not make a noise in any kind of platform, no matter whether it is wooden, whether it is cement, whether they have marble flooring, anything, any kind of flooring, it will not make that noise. And when there is no noise, that means you're not taking unattended attention towards yourself, unwanted attention towards yourself, right? So that's very important. Heels for corporates should not be, for women, it should not be more than 2 inches. And that's a rule. More than that, you can wear in parties, you can wear other ways, otherwise, but while you're into a corporate office, you're working in an organization, it should be really important that you feel confident, and it should not pain your feet. So 2 inches heels are very, very comfortable. It doesn't really pain your things. Plus, it makes you look a little taller. When you look a little taller, you look a little more confident. Your body languages changes a little bit. Hence, flats are a no-no, and more than 2 inches heels are a no-no. For again, male, there is a half-inch shoe which comes, the half-inch sole. That is the shoes that is basically worn in the corporate office. Correct? And now, very important part which comes for the interview is your hairstyle. Now, hairstyle can go hunky-dory completely. Right? We try and maintain कि चलो bun बना लेते हैं, जूड़ा बना लेते हैं, चोटी बना लेते हैं, different kind of things we think. And then क्या होता है, suddenly वहाँ पर जूड़ा खुल गया, बाल आगे आ गए, कुछ भी हो जाता है, right? Especially with somebody like me, a curly head, हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ होता था, right? That's a practical example I'm telling you. With curly hair, it's always a problem that you cannot look neat anytime. And during my career stage, when I started, my hair used to be very, very long. और ऊपर से curly, और उनको खोल दिया जाए तो वो पूरा जैसे बाबा जी का वो लगता है ना, बाल पूरे फैल जाते हैं. African. So I used to look like that. So it is very important that what you're wearing and how you are actually taking care of your hairstyle is so important, because it is going to be your first impression. उसके बाद ऑफिस में आप जैसे मर्जी जाओ, nobody is going to really be bothered, because you will follow the corporate rules. They already, every corporate office have their rules about how to dress and how you have to come. So it's only about the matter when you are creating an impression for the first time for the interview that you have to really take care of these things. So your hairstyle should be either neatly in a bun, in a ponytail. So no hair should be coming out on your face. That's very important. Jewelry, a strict no-no. Very small earrings you can wear. Studs. For males, no jewelry is allowed inside the corporate. Maybe a chain, yeah, that's okay. All right. And no piles, obviously. I mean, no jun wali piles. It should not have that sound which should come out from your anklets. So you have to be very, very particular when you're going for the interview. One with heels and everything, I don't know how with bellies people can actually wear it. It is always very uncomfortable. So it's very important that you take out all unnecessary jewelry. Rings, not more than one ring in your hand, both the hands together. Then nail paint colors. Why I'm going into that particular thing is because, you know, nail paint color again attract unwanted attention. The nail paint color, if you're putting nail paint color, should be very sober, subtle colors. It should not be blinky. No reds, neons. Article basically different colors are there for you guys. So yeah, it's important when you're going for interview, try and put on only the subtle colors. Beatish, brownish, the light shades. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so this is about now your personality. Now you have entered the interview room. Now you have taken the seat. You have asked politely, can I take a seat? The interviewer has asked you, yes, you can, you may. Now you have sat. So now who is going to start the introduction? Will you wait for the interviewer to ask certain questions and then the interview process starts? Not really. In 10 seconds, if you feel that there is no question is coming from the interview, so you can ask, so how are you today, sir or ma'am, whosoever is there, panelist. So don't wait for more than 10 seconds. That's the rule. And then take the initiative of starting the interview yourself by asking the question, how are you today? Right? Then obviously after that, the question answer sessions will start. Very importantly, as I said, knowing your ability, knowing your skill, and then knowing your knowledge. Very important. That is where your interview process will help you gain the confidence of the interviewer. If you don't know any answers to the questions, then what are you going to do? What will you do? Yeah, Anjali, you want to speak?
Yes, ma'am, we would be very polite and say, sorry, could you please skip the question or something like that. We will not wait for that.
Okay.
We should accept that I don't know. You can ask in any other topics,
okay,
which we know, or so that interviewer can dig on those particular topics.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah. So when you don't know anything, again, like he or she said that politely say no, that you don't know the answers for this particular question. So, sir, I request you to ask me any other thing. Very politely and nicely. It's always good to accept it rather than creating and giving a wrong answer. Because more damage will be done when you don't know something and you say something totally out of the world. Correct? Then आता है आपका very important thing about tell me what will be the next thing. Let me ask you this question. What would be important in question answers in interview sessions?
Introduction.
Yeah, your introduction.
Tell me about yourself. Or, yeah.
That will always be there. So how will you give your introduction? Tell me something about you. So I'm asking you this question now. So let's start with Apurva.
Yeah, ma'am. Means I have to introduce myself.
ये question पूछ नहीं सकते हो interview में, है ना? If I have asked you this question, you have to answer it. You cannot counter question me.
Okay, ma'am. So, myself, Apurva, and I can describe myself as a work in progress. I am working on myself to improve myself, and currently I'm pursuing my undergrad, and I'm in my second year, and I'm aspiring to get into civil services.
Okay, nice. Vanshika?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Vanshika Shalini, and I'm currently pursuing my undergrad. I'm in second year. And about myself, I like meeting new people, and I'm working on myself, on my personality.
Okay. This is how you're going to introduce yourself in the interview. It's a strict no, right? Okay. Next, Anjali.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Anjali Singh and I'm from Patna. I'm pursuing my BA in Economics Honors from Banaras Hindu University, and I'm an enthusiast in economics, and I am very much into economics. I dream to.
Yeah, Anshul.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, when you are asked the question to introduce yourself, I would first thank the interviewers for giving me the opportunity. Matlab, this is the
We are doing that round. You don't have to explain. You have to answer it quickly.
oh. Hello, ma'am. My name is Anshaj, and I have completed my BTech in automobile engineering with a minor in data science. And right now I'm preparing for UPSC examinations.
One correction, that when you say specializations, you have to talk about it. That my major specialization is this subject and the minor specialization is the subject, whatever it is, right? So speak the full words. See, interview is all about elaborative, going elaborative about yourself. The more you will given a chance to talk about yourself, the more it is really healthy for us as an interviewer to know about you. Right? Somebody like me would hardly speak in any interview. I will never ask anything else other than the question that I have, because I want to give this opportunity to the interviewer, to me, who has come to give the interview, to speak more, right? To tell us more about. So we as an interviewer are just going to be there to grasp whatever is being said or to take notes about whatever is being said. So when you are given an opportunity, your introduction should be mind blowing. You know, when you are, because you have entered, you have created a very good impression. Now you're sitting in front of them, and the first things you're going to talk about you should create the wonderful impression about you. Right? So prepare it really, really importantly. Maybe you can use a quote, you can use something really great words in your introduction. You can talk about, see, my name is this, and I am doing this is said everywhere. Everybody talks about it. But what makes you different from other people is what is going to create the long lasting impression on the interview. Right? Getting that? So what is it that you will talk about you? Pratishtha?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. My name is Pratishtha Singh. I hail from the small town Balia, which is located in Uttar Pradesh. I have completed my schooling from Castor Bridge School, which is located in Uttar Pradesh, and currently I am pursuing BA History Honors from Mahila Mahavidyalaya BHU. And my hobby includes reading books and some outdoor games. My skills are I have good analytical skills, and my qualities include that I am calm, composed, and organized person.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes, Prachi?
Good evening, ma'am. I am Prachi Pranavi, and I am pursuing my graduation from Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya. I am from Bhagalpur, Bihar, and right now I am planning to pursue my higher education further, and I'm looking forward to this interview.
All right, Yashvi. Why is your cameras are not on? Srishti, Tithi, Harsha, Subir. Imagine if you're giving an interview online and your cameras are not on. All these things we are talking about, this is the impression being created.
Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
मंच
There
करने
are
लग गए
network issues.
नेटवर्क इशू और कुछ मंच करने लग गए चाय कॉफी चल रही है साथ में let ma'am speak, let us enjoy a cup of coffee or tea. Right, so when you're giving this introduction, right, like we talk about it, that something has to come out of the word, something, maybe you can use a quote to which really linked with your personality. There are so many popular quotes, so you can either use that quote एकदम याद कर लो, पर ऐसे याद करना that it should not be forgotten when you are in front of somebody. ऐसा नहीं हो कि आधा निकले और आधा गायब भी हो जाए और भूल जाए मजा की, right? That also happens because when you get nervous, sometimes it happens कि अपने दिमाग से चीजें निकल जाती हैं. So prepare it so well that you remember that entire quote. Best thing is that the quote should be just one line. That means 7-8 words, not more than that. Because उससे ज़्यादा लंबा interviewer भी अपना वो खोल देगा, interest खो देगा, और then you also may not remember it. Right? So look for a very beautiful quote which you think should match up with your personality and can explain your introduction in really good. Then talk about all these things, that where you come from, how do you do this, what are the things that you're doing, what's your plan. And very importantly, in your introduction, do talk about a little bit about your family. Right? People give value. Like, somebody talked about emotional intelligence, or, creating that empathy. So it's very important that at least in one liner, you give gratitude to your parents for whatever they have made. So introduction is a beautiful chance of doing that. See, whatever till now, till your, till the time you're fresher, it's not your education and your knowledge and your abilities absolutely are there inside you. But I personally believe that whatever we become till the time we are freshers, majority of these things comes from our parents and teachers. So this particular introduction, for the first time when you're going to give your introduction, you can always attach one line about gratitude to my parents and teachers for making me who I am today. So that's very important. That's one line, and it doesn't take too much of a time, and then you can start your introduction. Right? Then इसके बाद आता है one question that all interviewers love to ask. What's your weaknesses and what's your strength? Correct? So what is your strength? How are you going to prepare that? What strengths are you going to talk about? I'm not going to ask every one of you because there are 22 people, and if I ask 22 people, it will take a lot of time. So I'm going to ask every question that I'm going to ask. I'll ask just 3 or 4 people randomly, right? Different people, so that you understand what are we going to do. So let's start with Harsh. Is it Harsha or it is Harsh?
Harsha.
Harsha. Okay. So Harsha, tell me.
Strengths and weakness.
Strengths. Let's talk about strengths first, then we will go to the weakness part later.
Yeah.
So what's your strength?
My strength is that I'm a positive thinker and I'm a team worker. If there is a group of people, the work which we contribution will be equally utilized and all. I'm a good team player.
I'm not able to hear you clearly. Something is
Hello.
wrong with the voice quality that is coming. Yeah, now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now it's better.
Yeah. I'm a good team player. I'm a good positive thinker. So those are the strengths.
Okay. So positive thinker, and you are a good team player. All right,
Team.
fine. Srishti, what are the 3 strengths that you have?
My two strengths are that I'm a good listener and I become friends with really quickly.
Okay, how your making friends is going to solve problems in the corporates?
Sorry, ma'am?
How your ability to make friends quickly is going to solve any problems in the office, in the corporate?
If I face some problems, maybe I can discuss with my superiors or even with my colleagues to how would they solve it, or they have any suggestions for me to go through all this.
Kavita, what are your strengths?
My strengths are that I am an optimist. I'm an optimist. I am curious. I'm very curious. I have curiosity, and time management is my strength.
Good. All right, let's come to the weakness part now. Sanjana, what are your 3 weaknesses?
Ma'am, weakness. Ma'am, I'm too talkative.
Strength and weakness wala question out there, right?
Ma'am, my weaknesses are that I'm too talkative and I'm not a good listener. I can't listen to anyone more than 5 minutes. And
no, मैंने बोला वो कहाँ गया? 43 minutes of talking.
Ma'am, that's a different thing. I can hear. but I can't concentrate in anyone at anyone in more than 5 minutes.
If you are going to talk about such weaknesses in an interview, nobody is going to hire you. Trust me. Right?
Ma'am,
So you
I
have
can
to
concentrate
think
in my
through.
classes.
Yeah, but you have to talk about. See, let's talk about other weaknesses, and then we'll come to how you have to talk about it. All right. So Tithi, what's your weaknesses? 3 weaknesses.
Okay, ma'am. First of all, and it's very common in everyone, like me as well. Like I get nervous very easily, very easily. Even I'm. This is the worst thing I conquer. I had to conquer over myself. Like I have to ask you something. I'll be getting freaking out. Like how should I ask to you, ma'am? Ma'am, I have a doubt. Like but when there's strength behind it, like I believe in myself that yes, I can do it. So if I wanted to ask you something, even regarding I'm sitting in the interview, the person is interviewing me, like then also like I can do my best. That's a positive part and negative part as well.
Okay. Subir?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. Ma'am, my weakness is confidence level is very low, and I am team maker, good team maker, and with positive attitude.
You're a team maker with positive attitude. We are talking about weaknesses, not
But
strengths.
my confidence is very low.
Okay, so only one thing. Any other weaknesses?
No.
Prerna?
Ma'am, I would say that I cannot say no to things. You know, whenever I get task, like if I have multiple tasks with me and still I have, like I got new tasks, I just say yes to it rather than saying that I already have these tasks. That is why, whatever things I'm doing, some things gets halted, and that kind of uh, impacts my productivity. So that is something I would say my weakness is.
So now when we're talking about strengths and weaknesses, right? Strength is something that, it is your, what do we call it? Not really a skill, but, it's like, it's part of your personality. That whenever something happens, so, you are a natural problem solver. For example, even if you're in a college, right, you have some friends who have some problems and they come to you for solutions or taking answers or seeking your guidance because they feel that you are the most, somebody who really understands the problem well and you always have the answers to different problems. So from that perspective, because right now you're never into a corporate, you have never been into a corporate environment. So your environment, which is just next to you right now, maybe your college friends or your family members, whatever they see you, try and understand from that perspective that what are the strengths that they come to you for. So it can be problem solver, it can be team player, it can be, you're really, really good at managing time really well. That you get up at 5:30, you do different things before you reach college, then you attend all the classes. So you know that you have this particular skill or you have this particular habit in you, which is completely imbibed in you since very long time. And it will not go against, because sometimes what happens, just to make you nervous or just to give you stress, the interviewer can ask you different questions related to your strengths that you're talking right now. So when you're saying that I'm optimistic, why you're optimistic and how your optimism is going to help me in my corporate, how it is going to really solve any problems. So you have to prepare your answers that way. So I'm not saying any one of you have said a wrong answer, but it is very important that you give it enough importance to make your interview look really, really worthy. So whatever 3 things you prepare about yourself, 3 or 5 things, at least there should be 5 strengths that you should be aware about yourself. team player is wonderful thing to say, because when you're working in an organization, you can be an individual contributor, that whatever task and responsibility is given to you, you are giving 100% to it. Also, if you become a part of, because everybody is a part of some or the other teams in the corporates, right? In the offices, in the world, in that world. So it's very important that you're a team player. And when you're a team player, that means you understand that if someone of my team is not really putting in their 100% efforts, can be because of any reason. So you are going to take up that challenge, that I'm going to be taking up that additional responsibility also. So indirectly, this is what you are going to convey to your interviewer. And your confidence. It's very good to talk about that I'm very confident. But an interviewer like me will go into the details to check your confidence in that interview then. Just to check whether what you're saying is really correct or not. Because हम बोल देते हैं कुछ और, but when it comes to really practical applications of it, we become totally different. Correct? So that's how you have to prepare about your strength. So strength is still easy to talk about, not come to the weaknesses part. So if you are going to talk about your weaknesses so openly in the interview that I don't know certain things, or I have nervousness as a problem, right? Or I get jittery, all these things should not be there in your weakness, right? I'm sure you must have heard or listened to various kind of things about interview skills, and you'll say कि ma'am same वही चीज़ें repeat कर रही हैं. But talking about your weaknesses in a very creative manner is very important. So your weakness should look like that for the offices or for the work that you are going to do, it is actually going to convert into a strength for the organization. Right? So now somebody said that saying no is a problem. Imagine now you already have a lot of work on your desk and you cannot say no to other people. So that means the work will keep piling onto you. That's not a good sign. But how you can convert this particular weakness into positive? That I cannot say no to people because of my good nature, but I'll try and manage my time so nicely that I complete all the work which comes to me in a day. So how you are going to explain your weakness, how you are going to talk about your weakness is what is going to give you brownie point about it. So having a weakness is not a problem. Sabke andar hota hai. Nobody is perfect, right? But how your weakness is actually going to turn into a very good strength for organization and for yourself is how it matters, what it matters, right? People want to see as an interviewer ki weakness to hai, but how much you know about your weakness and what you have done about it. Correct? One thing is knowing about it, one thing is how you're solving it. So you have to give that answer that I know this is the problem and this is how I solve it. Correct? All right, so shall we move ahead? All right, so when I take interview, I ask a very important question to everyone. And this question is about that, what is it? What's your story? So that's my favorite question to ask. And when I ask, what's your story? Nothing from your introduction should come inside that. And I think people who have attended my HRM classes, they know. So Karachi would be knowing about it already. So you have to give that answer which describes you as a person. Not about your qualification, not about what your parents made you, what's your name. I am not interested in that. What's your story is about who you are and how much you know who you are. So how many of you actually know who you are? You can raise your hands if you know. Okay, Anjali is the only one. Nobody else? Shriya, okay, good. That's all? Apurva भी है, Tithi भी है, okay. So इन चारों को डिलीट करते हैं. To ask this question. All right, so Shriya, tell me, what's your story?
Ma'am, I'm a curious person who is searching for all the questions that comes to my mind. I believe in all the possibilities in the world. I believe in magic. And
you believe in what? I cannot understand that.
Magic. All the possibilities in the world. And I believe in magic. I believe that there are more to the world. There are more to the things that I can see, that our eyes can see. And I'm on a path to find the answers that I have, or questions that I have, answers to all the questions that I have.
Okay.
That's the story.
Good. Okay. Yeah, Jyoti.
I know myself as a confident person, as Shreya told that I have lots of questions. I might too have lots of questions, and I'm on my way to find my answers. And I love learning new things, and I don't miss any opportunity to learning. So that's me.
Apurva? Problem you're facing, Apurva? Okay. Anybody else who has the answer to this question after listening to Shreya and Anjali? It's already hard to right?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to say something.
Yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, as I don't know if I had mentioned it before, but like I like to write something. Like I write poems, articles, short stories. So like I had a different view, and like if something is happening and it is going in a negative, it's going to turn out in a negative way. Then also I think that there's something must be good behind that. Like हमने सबने सुना ही है कि कहते नहीं है लोग कि जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. Like if I'm sitting in the interview right now and there might be the chances like I won't be hired, like then also I feel like something is lacking in me and I had to improve to get over it. And I feel like it.
But that's not the answer to what's your story.
Ma'am, it's like yeah, I don't know how to express my story. That's not. That's
so learn that. See, this
yes,
session is all about that.
Yes.
I'm just giving you. See, it's very difficult to give you everything in just these 2 hours of time. You know, we are talking about. We are going to talk about varied things. So I'm just giving you quick tips which can really be instilled in you, or you can really work on these particular tips and then try and practice it more. Right? Giving the best interview or is the only key to giving the best interview is that you prepare yourself in front of the mirror at least twice before you really go and apply for the interview. Right? You know all the questions. See, best part about your generation at this point in time is that all the information is available on internet. You type what kind of questions interviewer asks, you get thousands of pages which can tell you. You get the answers also written down. There are so many people who have written down all the good answers. Ki aise answer aap kar lo. You can mug those up and then you can do that. But the only thing which lacks is that you know what, how you can actually put the soul inside your interview. एक चीज होता है याद कर लेना, जैसे हम क्वेश्चन आंसर्स या फाइनल एग्जाम्स के लिए करते हैं. So how do we prepare for final exams? is सब रट लिया, एकदम सब कुछ प्रिपेयर कर लिया and then we just go and write it down. उसके 2 महीने बाद कुछ पूछ लो, उसमें से 30% ही याद रहता है. 70% will be lost because हमने उसको रट लिया और लिख दिया. And it was important. This is how our education system is. But when you are in corporate, you are going for an interview. It is not about just mugging up things and or vomiting it out. It's all about bringing that soul inside what you're speaking. Whatever is coming from you should have a soul about that Anjali is this person, this personality. Karvita is this personality. Harsha is this person. So the interview would be able to differentiate between. हम कैंपस इंटरव्यू देने जाते हैं बहुत बार, right, in bigger universities, in IIMs also, in Shillong and all those places. Now what happens is that the interviewer जो उनके internally वो होते हैं उनको ऐसे prepare कराते हैं कि सबके answers एकदम रटे लगते हैं. And you cannot differentiate between what Sanjana is, who Subir is, who Anshaj is. Everybody looks same because सबके answers similar हैं और सबको एक जैसा रटाया हुआ है. थोड़ा बहुत difference होगा कि strength अलग है, weakness अलग है. But you know that does not really give story about who you guys are, right? So it's very important first to know about yourself. As I said, you know, talk to your friends, talk to your family members very seriously, not in a jovial manner. That what are the three things that you really like about me? It's very important sometimes to take that perspective from somebody else because कई बार ऐसा होता है कि we don't make that much of a effort to know about self. So it's always good to take it from outside. And then from that outside world, whatever you have gathered, think about it. Give time to yourself, introspect, and then see that, do I really have these important things that people have said in me? And can I really make these strengths for the work that I am doing? Because it's very important कि interview आप कौन से subject के लिए देने जा रहे हो? I mean, for which position? So whatever you are going to speak should match with that position also. That's very important. So out of all these strengths and weaknesses that you have created a list of, now think that you are going to apply for, say, somebody might be going for UPSC examination, so वहाँ के interview is totally different. People ask such beautiful situation, critical incidents method के साथ use करते हुए, they ask different kind of questions so that you know you get puzzled, and then they want to see what is your presence of mind, how you are going to solve any difficult problem that comes to you, and what is the kind of answer. So it's not just about right and wrong. It's about how your presence of mind works in that situation. Right? So that is how you have to prepare it. So these are the few tips that is for the interview. And then before you sign out or when you go out for leaving the room of the interview, just do ask this question that when can I expect my result to come? There is nothing wrong in that. Instead of waiting, there are chances that some interview might have taken the decision there itself. So they will be able to tell you. And that shows your confidence into the entire process, that you are confident that you're going to get this job, and hence you are asking this question that when I'm going to get to know the results about this. So that's how you can end. And then you can wish them good luck and get out of the room. Good luck in the sense you can greet them. Have a good afternoon, good day, rest of the day should be good, anything like that. And then move out confidently. The way you have entered, that's how you are going to move out. Seeking permission, may I leave the room? Right? Usually people don't do that. Initiation करना सबको अच्छे से आ जाता है. End करना नहीं आता. So you have to end that interview well. See, it should look like that you are the one who is in control of the interview, not the interviewer. Take that power from the interviewer and become that confident that you know you have the power of this interview. You don't know what might click with the interviewer and what might give you that opportunity because you're fresher right now. There is no experience which can prove that you have that worthy. जब हम experience हो जाते हैं तब obviously we have so many other things to talk about in our interview. About what we have done in the past, what are the companies that we have worked for, so many different kind of things. But fresher wala interview, I think, is the most tricky because there is nothing. It's a blank check, right? You are just qualified, and that's how you're going out for the interview. So it's all about your confidence, how you carry it, and it's all about how much you know about yourself. Okay, and if people ask you about your hobbies, what are you going to answer the questions? How are you going to answer it? What are the hobbies you have? Shall I ask this question again? Okay. Let me ask. Vanshika, what's your hobby? Just one hobby right now.
Ma'am, I like reading books.
You like reading books. So which is the latest book that you have read?
Macbeth by William Shakespeare.
Macbeth. Who's the key character in Macbeth?
Ma'am, I don't remember, sorry.
So this is what, you know, if you are going to answer this question about your hobby is something that you keep doing it often, right? And I'm not grilling you. This is how, interviewer actually asks the question. They can ask you what book you are reading currently, how many books you have read, and if you say what's your favorite book, they're going to ask you different things. So never judge कि आपको जो सामने interviewer है उसने ये books नहीं पढ़ी होंगी. Maybe somebody must have read different kind of books altogether. Right? They may be more knowledgeable than you. So whenever you're speaking something about your hobbies and interest, again, very important that you know everything about that particular thing. Right. Suppose same question, what's your hobby? You say, I love reading. So what is the latest book that you have read? You said Macbeth by Shakespeare. And if I asked you this question, in which year Shakespeare was born, do you know anything about that? When did he die? So these are the questions that can come as a counterattack. So always prepare. You know that you're going to answer this, so prepare it well. Know what Shakespeare's ki journey kya thi. Know what is the main character in Macbeth. Know that there were different kind of movies which was created. Speak more about. Question usne kuch aur pucha hai, talk about it. That I know there are 3 different movies made on Macbeth, one in Hollywood, one in Bollywood, and there is another one in French language. These are the characters which were being played, so talk about it. They just want to see whether you are speaking your hobby is, this is your passion in you to know more about your hobby details. Right? Okay, so I'm going to ask this question again to anybody else. So Pratishta, what's your hobby? Let's see what other things comes up.
I'm playing outdoor games like badminton and doing some outdoor activities like cycling.
Okay. And what are the rules for badminton? 2 important rules about playing badminton. Rule वाला नहीं खेलते हैं ना हम ऐसे टिकटॉक वाला.
Sorry.
Okay. Who is the key player in India who plays badminton really well? तो सी ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है ना कि हमारी हॉबी और हमें उसके बारे में कुछ पता ही नहीं है ना. Sachi, what's your answer to this? What's your hobby?
Ma'am, my hobby is to listen music. I love listening music.
Okay. Okay. So listening to music cannot be a hobby. Listening to music can be an interest. Correct? Hobby is something that you do for passing your time because you really love that thing. Interest is something that is something like, watching movies and listening to music can be your interest. It cannot be your hobby. Creating music can be your hobby. Writing songs can be your hobby. Writing poems and converting into songs can be your hobby. But music, listening to music cannot be your hobby. It can be your interest. Yeah, Anjali, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. What if I say playing guitar? Is it a hobby? My hobby is playing guitar. Is it a hobby?
Yeah, playing guitar is a hobby. You're creating music. No?
So what
So
are
playing
the
guitar
possible?
is fine.
Yes.
The possible counter attack can come. How many notes are there? Which notes you play better?
Okay.
What are the strings? What kind of music each string brings? Who is the major guitarist in the world? Who is the guitarist who's your favorite? So any such counter questions. So any hobby that you're saying, see, speak less, but whatever you speak, know about that in details. And that's what hobbies are all about. See, if I say my hobby is swimming, right? I know everything about swimming. So I know who won the latest Olympics. I know who won the who went from India for Olympics or any other games in swimming. So all these details you should know. This is about not just about your knowledge. It is about how passionate you are about your hobby. See, there are so many different kind of opportunities which are available these days, that people have created different kind of businesses purely because they were their passions and hobbies, and they are doing wonderfully good. So sometimes you may get that opportunity in the office that might relate to your business, that might relate to your hobbies and interests. So why not to know it in details? The problem is nobody has taught us these things in the classrooms. हम school college time तक भी हमें ये सब चीजें नहीं बताते हैं, जबकि it should be an important part of. Nowadays जो आजकल के नए schools बन रहे हैं उसमें ये सब चीजें डला हुआ है. You know, we start giving these trainings to kids from 6th, 7th onwards, so that they know the difference between what are my interests, what are my passions, and what are my hobbies, and how I can create a business out of my hobbies also. Right? So for example, she said she loves playing guitar. So if you know playing guitar to a level where you can start giving tuitions to people, or you start teaching it online, or you create a YouTube channel where you are talking about it in details. And creating a YouTube channel today is a different kind of business opportunity that can earn you enough money. Not just popularity, but money also. I'm sure you are aware about that. How many of you are aware about that? That social media can open opportunity for you to earn money? And how many are doing it? You know, this is the best time. As I said, you know, your generation is so blessed with internet facility and social media being so popular. Right? My son's friend, they are in class 6. You know, in COVID time period, he created his YouTube channel because he used to sing really well, and he had 3,20,000 followers. And because now the schools are opening full time, this year it has opened full time, so he sold this out to somebody and he earned money. So with 3,20,000 people who were following it, he was earning money, obviously. But then after selling it out to somebody else, his own entire complete business YouTube channel, you know, he earned even more money, 7 lakhs a bit. So, you know, this is an opportunity that you can create for yourself. And I was amazed, a class 5 students, because he started in class 5th now, and you know, in 2 years time, he created such wonderful content which could go into that. Not just about singing, kaise sing karna hai, what are the notes that you have to play, you know, and this guy was blessed with beautiful voice and knowledge about that. So it's very important that you know your hobby really well so that you can earn a side money out of it. Because you know, competitive times are there. One job is not going to suffice all your blessings of, you know, the money world, right? It's very difficult to survive in one payment that comes in, depending upon what your interests and desires are. So it's very good that you have a hobby or you have some interest or passion that you can follow. Now with this, let's go to the next part, which is very important again, that you also talk about. A lot of you talked about initially is about your social networking. How you can actually build your social network. How you can have more followers. How you can actually create your network so that you can land up into good offices, or you can land up actually into good jobs, positions. How are you going to do that? How many of you have LinkedIn profiles? Five participants only. You can show me your hands, SRE. I can see it if you don't know the emoticon. Shreya, Hardik, Sanjana, Subir. Again, your cameras are off and I'm not able to see you. And when I am not able to
My
see
data
people,
is
it gets
exhausted.
difficult.
That's why my camera is off.
Okay. We have hardly interacted, Sanjana, today. So having a very good LinkedIn account means that, you know, everything about you is out there and going out to different kind of people you're going to talk about, right? So first and foremost is that are you all, how many of you are attending these classes since day one? I think HRM classes se start kiya tha ye, right? So from then onwards, I think all of you are attending all these classes together, all professional networking, correct? How many of you are linked to each other on LinkedIn? Nobody. क्यों ऐसा बताओ? 20 लोग हैं यहाँ पर. Out of 20, you are not connected to anyone. What is the problem in connecting on LinkedIn?
Ma'am, this is my first day.
Sorry?
My first class today.
Okay, yours is first class today. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you have an opportunity. Hardik, सबको इन सबको link भेज देना अपना LinkedIn account का. और क्या? Post it on the chat and send the request to everyone. Why not to have one group? I mean, why not to attend each other? Create your network on LinkedIn. You have 20 people right here in front of you who can be your friends, who can be your network. You don't know how many Anshaj would know. Anshaj, how many followers or how many people you are connected to on LinkedIn?
Not many, just my batchmates and some of my school friends.
Roughly number, any number?
Around, ma'am, 40 to 50.
So 50 people. So imagine now if you send, you are getting into Anshaj's network, you are getting into connect with 50 more people. Right? Who has more than 50 people in their network?
Ma'am, I have.
How many you have?
Around 80.
Around 80. Good. So now you have 80 more. So 50 plus 80, how many? 130 people in your network now connected. Harsha, how many you have?
It will be
You have to
around
unmute yourself.
85 or something, sir. 85 and more.
80, 75. So see, 200 people hope there. Titi, how many you have?
I guess I have 40 to 50 people connected with me. Yes.
So 250 हो गए. So imagine now all these 20 people, 50 से लेकर 80 तक के बीच में भी सबके हैं. So how many can you reach? Approximately 1600 people you can easily have a network of. Direct and indirect both. So why miss out on that opportunity? Right? So today, first thing that you're going to do, see, because you all know each other that much, so obviously because you're attending the classes. So if Pratishta sends me a request, I want to be a part of your network, will I say no? No. Or imagine Neeraj sir को भी नहीं add किया होगा अभी तक, और किसी faculty member को भी नहीं किया होगा. You're losing out on that chance, So all the faculty members, I am sure, जो भी आए हैं सब लोग class लेने, उनका अपना network होगा. I have roughly about, because I don't know, you don't use LinkedIn that much, so I just have roughly 1500, 1200 to 1500. So I'm giving you that opportunity that one go you are getting my network in front of you, right? Similarly, Neeraj sir might be having around 3000, 4000 people easily, right? So why not connect with him? Such a wonderful opportunity, and I'm sure he's not going to say no कि नहीं मुझे मत भेजो request, मुझे मत follow करो, and don't become my friends on LinkedIn, right? Because it's a professional network, and that's how you're going to gauge. So imagine, जैसे आप, for example, you send request to me, and I accept your request. So that 1500 people, whatever they write on the wall, you can see all that. Wherever I send a comment, wherever I send a like, whatever I write on LinkedIn, you will be able to see all of that. Now imagine you get to come across somebody in my network who can give you a chance to come and who has posted a job opportunity. और मैंने उस पे connect किया है, and I just commented that going for better reach, commenting for better reach. So now better reach के लिए आप सबको वो दिख रहा है. So I am sure that you're going to apply to that job if it really interests you. Correct? So that opportunity that we're talking about, social networking, this is how we actually go for social networking. So that's the first step, that your college mates, whosoever you have studied with, you have to, send them a request because you already know these people. And second is your professional network, which is this. You are doing a professional course. All these people who are attending classes with you are your network. They know all of you. I'm not saying it, see, because it's not Facebook. So you don't have to be afraid कि मैं अपनी पूरी family का वहाँ पर इसके सामने रख दूँ. You don't have to send a Facebook request. But LinkedIn is a professional network and it is going to open up more opportunities for you if you are aware about how to build that network. So trust me, if you're going to send request to Neeraj sir and all other your faculty members, if they all accept if they recognizes and accept, उसी दिन करना चाहिए तो recognition जल्दी हो जाता है. But let's see how many of them do that. So imagine you might be having 10,000 people in your network today itself if you do this. Indirect. Direct would be roughly about 500, 600, but indirect would be 10,000, 20,000, depending upon how many people they are. Anything that you now write on your LinkedIn, any post that you make on LinkedIn is now visible to 1.2 million or 1.5 million people easily. एक नेटवर्क के आगे और लोग भी देखेंगे, उसके आगे भी और देखेंगे. ओपन नेटवर्क होने का ये फायदा है. Correct? So that's how you build your social networks right out from your college. It's an opportunity for you. Some people, when we were taking HRM classes, out of 12, 13 people who were in our class, 6, 7 are already there. I don't know why Prachi is not there. Why didn't she send it?
Ma'am, I joined it recently, so that's why.
That's right. Neeraj sir को भी करूँ और जितने faculty members हैं सबको भेजो.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Correct? All of you. So this is how you are going to initiate building your social network. Now start following certain influencers who are there on LinkedIn. Now influencers can be really somebody who is a really good businessman. So for example, J.R.E. Tata hai, Ambani hai, whosoever you are really impressed with. Elon Musk hai, बहुत सारे सभी, everybody is there on LinkedIn. So whosoever you really like, you start following. Obviously, they are not going to accept your request, but you can follow them. So there is a difference between both. So acceptance of your request means that you have become a part of the network. But other than that, there is another method which is following somebody. So if you're following somebody, at least you will be able to see their content, whatever they write. So Elon Musk writes about various things in technology that he's doing. What are the latest things that he's going to do with Tesla and other things that he's planning to do. He's planning to go into space. So he's creating that kind of thing. So if you're into that technology bit, you have that interest, why not follow him? If you are really want to become good HR, so then follow good HR people. Everybody's there. And HR की तो काम ही यही है कि आपको वहाँ जाना है. You are in marketing, why not follow all the CMOs of various organizations? Find out उनका CMO कौन है, internet पे सब जानकारी मिल जाती है. Then follow that person on LinkedIn. You never know which company might post an opportunity which really is of interest to you. You land up a job like that. Correct? So that's how you start. So first thing, your network is built with your friends, your professional network, your faculties. Second, influencers you're going to follow. And at least 5 influencers. Right? Okay. Second important tip on LinkedIn is that your profile should be updated, complete. So it cannot go without a photograph. The photograph भी ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि हम पहाड़ों में खड़े हैं और हम सुंदर लग रहे हैं. No, it has to be a professional photograph. You should be looking like a corporate employee, not really fully dressed like tie वाई लगा के या अच्छे से करके, but it should look formal. It can be semi-casual also. But it should create that impression that somebody comes and look ki kaun hai Prerna Malkani, so I want to see what Prerna Malkani looks like. Right? It's very easy to give a face to somebody when you just know the name. So your professional network should look like professional network. Just the tip is that what photograph you post on Facebook and Instagram, you should not be posting it unless you are into creative business. अगर आपका काम ही ऐसा है जो क्रिएशन में है या क्रिएटिविटी में है, then you can post that content on LinkedIn also because that's your work. Like for example, you want to become stand-up comedian, right? That's your passion, and you become stand-up comedian. अब जो भी आप Facebook पे डाल रहे हो वो सब LinkedIn पे भी डालोगे because that's your profession. Right? That's not something that you are doing for fun. Okay? Suppose you're a cartoonist and you are creating wonderful cartoons, so you're not just going to put those cartoons on Facebook or Instagram. You can easily post that posts on your LinkedIn. So because that's your creation, that's where your passion lies, that's where your hobbies lie, and that's one of the strengths that you have. Okay, so just differentiate between what really is your creation, what really can become your business, and then what is just time pass. बहुत सारी चीजें हम टाइम पास के लिए भी करते हैं. So listening to music for me is basically passing my time in a nice manner. Reading mostly is passing time, but when you are really indulged in your reading, you know the characters really well, you have a passion of writing and becoming a reader also, then it becomes your hobby. So knowing that difference is also very important. Right? Yes, Fred.
Ma'am, spending time on LinkedIn can be a hobby? Like,
no, it's not. It's just building your network.
Yeah, so building network, like
it's not hobby. It's your, it can be. It's really important for your professional network these days. See, networking and going social. Because in today's time, I don't think anything is private anymore. Until unless you really do not want to post anything out there. If you want to keep it to yourself in your home, then obviously you're not posting about it. But when anything, see, even a photograph that is clicked on your mobile is now not private anymore. It has already gone to a database, it has already gone to a cloud. So that means it might be there for thousands of years. So knowing the difference, that what is going where and how it is going to help me out in the future is really important. If I want to keep something really private, I'm not even clicking photographs about it. I'm keeping it to myself. That's my private life. But when I want to go social, I want to take networking, hard-headed, then go out, all out there. Create. So LinkedIn can be wonderful tool for businesses, for getting jobs, for landing of good opportunities, for learning what is happening these days around the world. So it's not just about this, it's about what we started with, your ability to connect with people, your skill upgradation, and your knowledge upgradation. All these things can happen. Because somehow our education system, what we have done and studied in colleges is still limited. Actual life starts after you are out there looking for job or doing your own business or doing something that you do. So connecting on networking sites is not a hobby. Facebook पे जो लोग फालतू scroll करते रहते हैं ना सारा दिन reels चल गए हैं आजकल, that's the time pass. That's 100% passing time, and it has taken creativity out of people. People who are creating that stuff still as creating content. So that means कुछ knowledge है तभी वो लोग डाल रहे हैं. But people who are just looking at it entire day doing nothing, सिर्फ लोगों के status और ये सब check करते रहते हैं, that means कि एकदम time खाली है कुछ नहीं करने के लिए. So that's basically wastage of your time that you have in your hand. Imagine what 24 hours can do wonderfully for you. Bill Gates आज भी कहते हैं, he said this thing in one of the interviews that at least in a week, 3 days in the morning, 3 hours he reads. So that means reading is so important for him, somebody like him, that he gets up at 4:30 in the morning all those 3 days so that he can read different books. So reading is such an important thing, and reading is not about just knowing something. When you start reading something, you are into a different world altogether. If you're passionate about something, so for example, like somebody of you said that your passion is singing. Just giving hypothetically an example. अब singing में कहाँ सबसे पहला गाना बना था? Who sang the first song? Publicly. What music instruments were used? So it can actually opens up a new way for you to understand and know things better. You never know, because knowledge जो भी हम acquire करते हैं, information जो भी हम acquire करते हैं, it doesn't go waste. It is stored in your subconscious mind somewhere, and when the time comes, you can actually talk about these topics openly. and opportunities aa hi jati hai. When you are knowledgeable, you actually subconsciously start looking for opportunities where you can talk about your interest and your things. And you never know कि आपका interest आपका business बन जाए कल. People have done that. People have become LinkedIn influencers purely. कोई जॉब नहीं करते हैं, सिर्फ लोगों को टिप्स देते हैं कि LinkedIn पे कैसे अपने आप को सक्सेसफुल बनाएं. And they are earning money out of it. So that can also become your way of earning money. Not earning money also, you are earning fame also. You know, you're helping people. So you are building up a society. You are helping so many other people who don't know what needs to be done. Right? So various things can open up when you are actually doing all these things. Right? Another important platform where you should be, I think, is Twitter. Because Twitter is international. Again, it is open. Whatever content you are putting out there is open and visible to everybody, whosoever comes across in. So read it out. शुरू में Twitter difficult लगता है because you don't know कि किसको follow करे, किसको नहीं करे. But once you start building your network, you know, you start participating in different kind of debates, different kind of things which is happening out there. It becomes wonderful tool. It opens up so many good opportunities. As a motivational speaker, Twitter has given me so many opportunities where people have started inviting us for various events, conferences. Right? I never knew कि मैं कभी किसी डॉक्टर की कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाके बात करूंगी मेडिटेशन के बारे में. But Twitter opened up that opportunity. Somehow I landed up with this friend as a follower for one of the doctors. He said, I'm organizing one conference and I had read your content. I saw one of your clips and I want to invite you. And that's how I landed. Without knowing anything, we didn't know each other. There was no introduction which happened, but you just ended up because it is open. Your content can go to millions of people in one go. So you can keep Facebook and Instagram for personal stuff. Professional के लिए LinkedIn and Twitter is good. Snapchat again is very personal, not for professional networking. Unless your company mates are there and then you have a group out there. So this is about social networking. Any other questions that you have? Yeah, one topic I think is left is about your resumes. How to create your resumes, right? That's very important. See, now giving tips on creating resumes without looking at your resume is a little difficult. Right? But I'll try my best कि मैं जो major tips हैं वो मैं आपको भी दे दूँ so that you can create your resumes. If you really want to seek more help after that, just for once I can do that. That all of you are attending. So right now 5 people have left. 14 only are here. So all of you can send after these tips. You create your CV and send your CV to me on WhatsApp, and I will check your CV and send it back with my comments. But that would be just one-time exercise. I will not be able to repeat it again and again because it might be very time-consuming. So just for once, I can do that for all of you. Right? So the tips are, first is that, you know, a very good neat photograph should be added. Something which can be on your LinkedIn. The similar kind of a photograph can be added now on your CV as well. Where you're looking formal, you're looking neat and clean. Neat and clean, your personality should be looking that, yeah, you're really going to come for the job. Impression, very impressive thing. Second, now about your introduction in your CV, right? You have written your name nicely out there. So there are formats which are available on PDF now, right? I think every computer will give you an opportunity to have that kind of a, what kind of format you want to create. I will try to show you. Let me see if I have some format in my computer. Latest format, I'll show you that. In the meantime, I'm searching. You can all think about one-liner objective that you are going to write in your CV. What is that one thing that you are going to write as an objective for your CV?
Hello.
You're saying something, Archana?
Yeah, madam. Finance profession with experience in core banking operations, customer management, and financial management. Objective.
Finance manager.
Finance professional, madam. Finance profession with
Okay.
experience in core banking and customer management and financial accounting.
Okay. Now that sounds good. Well, it should talk about what you want to do in future as well. Not just about what you're doing currently. Your objective should talk about the objective ka meaning kya hai? Objective is something related to our goals in our life. Right? What you want to achieve. So your objective should also talk about what is it that you want to do in your life in future. So you're a finance professional right now, but what areas opens up for you in the future is what you should concentrate on. That I want to join this industry. See, objectives will change as per the company's requirement. So we आप जिस भी company में apply करोगे, right? That might change a little bit because job designations or positions difference होती हैं अलग-अलग. So that has to change. So don't keep it one. Whenever you see an opportunity, just go through it and see how you can match up with the opportunity. That one way. Banking, finance professional from banking background, but might be able to help the company into these areas. Something like that. Not writing the but part, sorry, but I just said, but you can write it down in that manner. I'm not able to find any good CV has come recently. So anyways, let's not waste time into searching something. So, there are, I don't know if anyone of you are using PDF in your computer. So PDF gives you an opportunity that it shows you different samples that you can create of your series automatically. So you just have to put your data, that means your name and your business and all that thing. And then it will show you that these are 3-4 samples in which your printout can come out or your things can come out, right? So try that and always create your CV after creating in Word. If you're creating in Word, then try and convert it into PDF. Never send a Word file to anybody if you're applying for a job online. Even if you're taking a print, convert that file into PDF and then take a printout and send. If you're sending it in a hard copy. Right? Why I'm saying that is because formats changes. Word format किसी और के computer में आपने बनाया, किसी और के में आप भेज रहे हो, so formatting पूरी change हो जाती है. Then your name go haywire, आपकी photo इधर चली जाती है, सब कुछ formatting पूरा change हो जाता है. So PDF gives you that particular thing that whatever way you are creating it, the formatting will not change. So at least the impression that you want to create is created. So one, your photograph should be there, your name should be there in the bold, clearly visible. You don't have to write resume or curriculum vitae or biodata in your CV anywhere. You don't have to write that. Everybody knows that it's your resume, it's your curriculum vitae. Curriculum vitae generally we say for people who have very good experience, 5-6 years and more than years of experience, and they have to talk about various things in their experiences. That's why it's called curriculum vitae. Resume is for people who have less than 6-7 years of experience and they can actually do it. Biodata is generally used for freshers, right? Because biodata has that much of information that should be put there. If you have done some internships, if you have done some professional course or vocational training that you have taken, then you have your resume with you, right? But don't write it on the resume. Just have to write your name. Just after your name, your objective should come, that what exactly is it that you're doing currently and how you're going to help the organization solve their problem. So for example, if you are a professional, say, suppose you are a content writer, right? So how your content that you're creating right now is going to help the organization. That's what you have to write in one liner. So try and be creative. Again, I cannot give you different examples right now at this point in time. So best is to research on internet. You will see, because there are various kind of things which are available out there. But see what is matching yours and change it the way that it helps make it yours. Don't copy paste it. Taking an inspiration is fine because there is a lot of information which is available, but there are different people out there. So what Shreya wants in her objective, she may not just copy paste what Hardik or Anshul has written out, right? They may be a different personality or a different personality. So create that objective as per your personality, who you are, and what you want to contribute. Okay. Then after objective, then it should talk about your educational qualification. Because you're freshers, so that you're putting if you are already having some experience, then you should start with your professional experiences. Then your qualifications will come after your professional experience. But if you are fresher, you have never done any job, then you should start with your qualification. And qualification from latest to the past one. So latest, for example, if you've done post-graduation, that should come first, then graduation, then 12th, then 10th. Try and create a box out of it. It would look neat. 4 columns. Talks about your qualifications, which year did you do, which board, and what percentage. That's all. And then after that, you can write any vocational trainings that you've done, any internships or trainings you've done. That's I'm talking about the freshers. For experienced ones, once you have written your all professional experience, naming the organization, what you've done, so don't make it too lengthy because aajkal lengthy wale CVs ka zamana chala gaya, right? So now you have very crisp CVs. So for experienced one also, you write the name of the organization that you worked, then you write your designation, what designation, and 3 or 4 crisp responsibilities that you have had, that you were in charge of. That's all. Then move on to the next one. और बेस्ट फॉर्मेट इज उसके अलावा एक जो दूसरा फॉर्मेट होता है एक्सपीरियंस के लिए, उसमें आप क्या कर सकते हो, राइट डाउन ऑल योर एक्सपीरियंसेस इन फर्स्ट पेज, ऑल योर एक्सपीरियंस, ऑल योर जॉब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज दैट यू हैव, एंड देन उसके नीचे आप लिख सकते हैं अपनी कंपनीज का नाम अलग अलग करके, 4 कंपनीज में ये 4 साल एक्सपीरियंस हमने लिया, मतलब 4 अलग अलग जगह थे हमने नाम एक्सपीरियंस किया, so that every company का आपको डिटेल में नहीं लेना पड़े कि this is the responsibility I handle this organization, this is that. You are writing in a nutshell that I know all these things, 7 lines, 8 lines, whatever you know about all your responsibilities, all your skill sets that you have. You write it down in those 7 points or 8 points, and then very neatly you describe that which organization, which position you were at, and what time period you spent in each of these organizations. It's very important. Right? For fresher ones, it's your qualifications first. Then second, we'll talk about your projects and trainings that you want to take. All the projects that you created as a part of your qualification, and all the trainings that you attended as a part of your qualification. Then you can write about this course that you have done. If you have done full 6 months course of any specialization in your professional qualifications, you can write about YSI course from NEET. Correct? Even if you are pursuing it, you have not yet completed it, you can still write about it. That I am pursuing this diploma course, 6 months diploma or 6 month certificate from YSI in this. And do mention NEET and AICTE. It gives you enough weightage. Right? For the experience one also, once you have given your professional experience completely, now you write about your projects and trainings. And then last mein aapki qualifications, which is your professional qualification. So this course will come under professional qualification. Other degrees that you have done will come under your qualifications. And then if you want to write about your details, never write your hobbies and interests in the CV. That is not required these days. You can write about your information, that where is your address. You can talk about your father if you want to. Generally, again, it is not required these days. Write about your parents in the CV. And then do mention your place where you are and your signatures. Every time you're sending a CV, you should have your signatures. It's very easy to create digital signatures these days on PDF, so you can do that. Try and do that signature. All right, this is about resume. And next thing that is very important when you're sending out your resume to somebody over email or any other platform. So writing your cover letter is very important. Right? So your cover letter for experienced people, again, it should talk about your experiences and how you have solved problems in any organization. Not too lengthy, maybe just in one paragraph, 7, 8 lines, if you can just write and explain that I am this person. So for example, let's talk about Harsha, that I am Harsha. I have been into this position in these organizations. These are the 3 problems that I helped solve in my career. And then write about these problems. 3 challenges that you have really encountered, you really solve this problem for the organization, you really help the organization come out of it, anything. But be sure whatever you're writing. There might be a
Small
counter
doubt,
question.
madam. You told cover letter, it is like another PDF with the resume we have to send for the experience qualification people. If they are applying for, like I have a 1 year of experience, I'm trying
No,
to
you don't
check.
have to have, not necessarily in the PDF format.
Yeah.
You can write it in the body of the email. If you're sending it by email, then you can write it in the body of the email. Yeah, if you are giving some hard copy to somebody, then you can print it out in PDF.
Okay. Madam, another doubt, you told that about the like professional 1 year of experience people, when they write it in the resume, it is like mine is basically into marketing and operations in banking right now, what the work I'm doing. So I want
Your voice is not reaching me properly. I'm not able to hear you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, mine is of 1 year of experience. I'm into the banking industry. So my resume is mostly, I have prepared what my professional experience is, like what I have done in banking and all. When I'm trying to apply for new role like credit analyst and all, my objective I have already told you, like finance, banking thing. Now when they are seeing that resume, they are straight away saying that you are into marketing thing and you want to apply for credit analyst and all. They are rejecting it right away in the resume only. So how to convey that point in the resume?
Right. So see, there could 2 things. And today, there are a lot of CVs that you send online to somebody goes to ATS. ATS is application tracker service, right? So application tracker service is inhuman. It's a robot, which is basically it's an AI format. It's a software जो हम लोग recruiters use करते हैं, HR वाले use करते हैं, where your CVs come for the first time and it matches with the keywords of the job position which is there. तो आपने जो job description जिसको देखकर आपने apply किया, the computer or the artificial intelligence system tries to match each other with the keywords जो भी match कर रहे हैं. And then from there it sends to the HR that these are the selected CVs. So for example, 200 CV आए, 200 में से ATS ने हमारे पास सिर्फ 30 ही भेजे क्योंकि वो exact match कर रहे थे. So what you're saying is that if you want to apply for a credit related job and you have done job in marketing, you have to write something about that credit thing in your CV. Anyway. Because if it is going directly, because most of the banks in India are using ATS services, right? The application tracker device use कर रहे हैं, उसमें जाएगा आपका, तो उसके अंदर अगर आपने credit control से related या credit चीज से रिलेटेड कुछ भी नहीं किया हुआ है, so automatically reject हो जाता है. It is not a human thing that you are sending out to. So they won't read your cover letter. So best thing is that you write something in your objective about getting a job into that area. You can write something in your professional experience, at least one line about it, so that when ATS is actually matching it with job description, it is not rejecting straight away. Second stage of hiring is basically when it goes to the humans, that is the recruiters. They read out your resume and then they see whether to call them or take interview on phone. अगर उस stage तक पहुंच जाता है, then there are chances. Then you have a chance to explain yourself why you want to make a shift from marketing to other field. Right? So it's very important that you do this. Right? Or apply for a job which is going to a human. I mean, उसके अंदर email ID भी ऐसा लिखा होगा, not HR at something, but किसी का नाम लिखा होगा. For example, Archana at HR Mannerisms, it will come to me. It is not going to ATS. जो हमारा HR वाला या hiring वाला email ID है, that goes to ATS directly. Getting my point?
Yeah.
So you need to understand that the world today works on technology. And technology has taken a shape where maximum bigger organizations, even small medium organizations, because ATS is not very costly software. So application tracker क्या करता है, आपका resume track करके सीधा अपने में ले लेता है, and it helps the HR find out what are the keywords matching with your profile, and then they invite you for the interview. So that is the reason why I'm saying that write less in your resume, but write very crisp things that you want to do. So match the keywords and change your resume as per the job position that you're applying for. There is no need to have a standard resume. वो ज़माने गए क्योंकि हमारे को तो प्रिंट आउट लेकर रखने पड़ते थे अपने पास in our times initially when we were looking for job. So we had to have that 20 series because दूसरी जगह जाना पड़ सकता है इंटरव्यू देने, तो similar format जा रहा है. But now you have this possibility that you can create different series as per the requirements of the job position. For example, you are applying for a marketing role somewhere. So marketing के कुछ keywords होते हैं that has to be there in your resume. So as per the role which is out there, which interests you, you have seen that job description, try and change those lines according to the job descriptions. That's all. I'm not saying कि fake करना है, but at least see कि you know this thing. Sometimes what happens is you have written in a different kind of a format or in different kind of way. And the job description has written in a different, very professional English. So that change in the English language also can create a difference between your CV being selected and somebody else's CV being selected. Right? Now having a good border across your resume is very important. Don't make a very thick border, but very thin border once you're creating it is very important. It gives a very neat look to the resume. The border should not be more than half a centimeter away from the page, where the page ends. 1 inch wale border nahi, very small, less than 1 centimeter, half a centimeter, not even 1 centimeter. Right? You have these things in your resume builder. Okay. And then last is writing about your date of birth. So at the end, you can write and mention about your date of birth, your permanent address. Because sometimes organizations love to send offer letters and appointment letters to your permanent address. Even though they have your email ID, but some organizations have started practicing it as a part of the more human touch to hiring. So these are few tips that you can do. A very neat photograph, very crisp objective, very neatly done your qualifications, your projects and trainings. Then if you really are very confident about writing your interests and hobbies, you can mention that. And then about your personal. Another very beautiful format which is available in PDF is where it tells you about skill set. So skill set के आगे उन्होंने dots लगाए होते हैं, आप select कर सकते हो किसी भी color में, So for example, you know Photoshop. So Photoshop ke aage they have 10 dots. So you can choose out of 1 to 10 how much are you in Photoshop, how much you rate yourself. So then it ratings goes to them. So suppose you color 8 dots, तो आपका print भी ऐसे निकल कर आ जाता है. I mean the final copy comes out with 8 dots. So that means you rate yourself in Photoshop out of 1 to 8. Right? So similar things you can write for any kind of skills. So you can write communication skills. Communication skills में 3 things you can write: your writing skills, your speaking skills, and your listening skills. So your writing skills, suppose for example, on the scale of 1 to 10, you say that you are a good writer, you can actually write in wonderful vocabulary, you know punctuations and everything easily. So then you can rate yourself 7 or 8 out of 10. Speaking may again, as per your proficiency, how fluent you are, how good you are in speaking, how confident you are in speaking, then you can rate yourself on 6 or 5 or 7, whatever. Right? So this is a format. Again, it's a very, very common format which is available in PDF. I'll try, I don't know how to send it across to all of you. Is there any group that sir has created for all of you together?
Yes, ma'am.
WhatsApp group have those? Okay, wonderful. Then I'll send it to sir. Needed sir will share that formats with you. Right? I'll try and send 1 or 2 different formats of how to create your resume, and then any of these formats that you can use. And then you can, if you really want my help, you can send that series back, changing after making changes. I will see, I will again look into it and I'll send it back to you. I will not change it. I will just tell you my comments on each area and then you can change it. All right. So any other questions all of you have? Because I don't think there is any other time for the left to talk about any other topic. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
One question: is there any limitation of length? How lengthy or how big a resume should be? Like 1 page?
I said now, for experienced people, it should not be more than 2 pages. For people who are freshers and have just internships and projects to talk about, not more than a page. Everything can come in 1 single page, A4 size. See, because ATS pe ja raha hai, application tracker pe, that ATS does not read too many pages. It rejects it automatically. Even for human, it is difficult. Suppose you have 20 people applying for a job, or har ek ka page 7, 8 pages mein ja raha hai. It's very difficult for a human to read all 7, 8 pages of everybody. So it's very good that you create. See, that's where your written communication skills comes to play. That how much you can summarize your experiences in crisp manner. I'm sure in all these classes that everybody has taken, everybody would have given an emphasis on your communication skills. What you're speaking, how you're speaking, what your tone, and how you're writing everything down is very, very important. I have seen people failing in speaking English, good English, but I've seen same people writing very good English. One, because there are chances that you can proofread it, you can see it over and over again, and there is a time when you can change it. Speaking mein hame itna time nahi milta hai, because whatever comes to your mind, you are doing that. So practice speaking is for practicing is a key to make your English look really, really healthy and beautiful. You don't have to use too frivolous words in your English to make it sound and look good. Initial stages pe. Over a period of time, your vocabulary improves automatically. See, when you start working in an organization, you listen to various people talk in English. And then suddenly you start picking up those words which is really important for your job, for your role, and even in normal times, right? It's very important that at least what you're speaking should be fluent enough. You're not taking unnecessarily too many pauses in between. And you should know where to pause. I don't know whether you have attended some communication skills classes in these classes or not, but it's very important that pauses should be known to everyone. As much as you can practice your English in front of the mirror, in front of somebody, read English books, start with smaller novels, plain simple novels which you can enjoy as per your things, and start reading vocally. I mean, you have to really loud when you're speaking. Because when you speak loudly, anything, your attention to your mistakes goes really high. So then there are chances that you can really do that. And work on your, what you call it, pronunciation. It's very important. Because maximum mistakes, we Indians make is in our pronunciations. So once your pronunciation is really, really good, then there are chances that what you're speaking is not getting unwanted attention. That means people are really, really impressed with what you do. So practicing in front of mirror and reading newspapers and books is a key to improve your English. I remember when I was, because I studied in KVs always till my 12th, and KVs used to be in English medium school, but we hardly knew how to talk very confidently in English as compared to the people who came from convent. So I had to really work hard. While I was preparing for my graduation, I really worked hard on my English because I had to appear for CAT. So once you have to appear for CAT, you have to have wonderful English. That's it. So maths and English are two areas if you are preparing for CAT or any entrance examination for that. And UPSC के लिए लोग कहते हैं ऐसा कि अगर आप हिंदी में दोगे UPSC exams, you get more weightage in India. So that's again a tip. And I learned this tip from an IAS officer. So instead of writing your exams in English, write your exams in Hindi if you're really passionate about UPSC. So there were 2-3 people who said that. All right. Any other questions you have? Quickly, and then we will end the session. No questions? I think you understood everything there, or you don't understand anything. All right. Thank you so much for attending this session. Very happy life ahead to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Good night.